The sea trembled under the weight of destiny. From the frozen fjords of the north, they came, warriors of shadow and flame, sons of gods, or men cursed by vengeance. The world remembers them only as the Great Heathen Army, a force so vast, so ruthless, that even kings knelt before their wrath. But behind the blood and glory lie truths never told, secrets buried in bone and fire. Tonight, we journey through storm and steel to uncover 15 shocking truths about the army that changed history forever. Was it divine retribution, or a tale born from the fears of men? The answer still echoes through the thunder of the north. The sea was black that night, alive with rage. Lightning tore the sky in half, and the North Sea answered with waves tall as mountains. Among them, a fleet of dragon-prowed ships cut through the storm like beasts of the abyss. At the prow stood Ivar the Boneless, son of Ragnar Lodbrok. His eyes burned with purpose, vengeance for his father's death in the snake pit. They called this gathering the Great Heathen Army, a host united not by one king, but by wrath itself. Men from Norway, Denmark, and Sweden swore oaths under the thunder. Their destination, England, the land that mocked Ragnar's final breath. Beside Ivar stood a young warrior, Eirik, a farmer's son with scars deeper than his skin. He had lost everything to Christian raiders, and now sought redemption in blood. At the ship's stern, a veiled seeress, Astrid, whispered into the wind, "The sea spares only those whose fate is unfinished." The storm broke at dawn. The dragon ships reached the English coast. Mists rolled like ghosts over the marshes. Truth won. The Great Heathen Army was not one single nation. It was a fragile alliance of rival jarls, bound together by vengeance more than loyalty. They landed in East Anglia, and as the first longboats scraped ashore, the Vikings roared, a sound not of men, but of gods reborn through fury. They built camps with precision unseen by the English. In weeks, villages became fortresses. Church bells were melted into sword hilts. Holy metal turned profane. Truth, too. They were not mere raiders. The Great Heathen Army brought advanced military organization, a mobile kingdom with engineers, priests, and spies. Eirik watched Ivar in awe, the crippled leader whose will could cut through steel. At night, he whispered his father's name to the flames. Astrid saw the cracks in his heart. She murmured to Eirik, "Do you know why Ivar feels no pain? Because he gave it to the gods, and now he must take it back, one kingdom at a time." The next dawn, they struck East Anglia. Villages burned, monks fled, churches crumbled. Truth 3. To the English, these Vikings were not men, but demons from the sea. Fear, more than the sword, conquered the land. King Edmund offered gold, horses, even baptism. Ivar refused. "Peace," he said, "is the lie of men too afraid to die." And so, the first kingdom fell beneath the storm. But as smoke rose, Eirik hesitated before a kneeling monk. He could not kill a man who prayed for mercy. Astrid's voice echoed again. Mercy tests warriors more than war ever could. Winter came. Hunger followed. And within the ranks of the heathen army, whispers began to grow. They had broken kingdoms, but not their own pride. Around campfires, jarls argued over land and spoils. Even brothers turned to rivals. Truth 4. The Great Heathen Army was a serpent with many heads, each leader fighting not for the gods, but for his own glory. Ivar's brother, sought peace. Ivar sought immortality. "Let the weak leave," Ivar said coldly. "Only those fit for Valhalla remain." That night, Astrid whispered to Eirik, "The air before the storm grows still. The gods are watching their children destroy each other." By dawn, deserted, taking ships and warriors with him. Ivar's rage became legend. Truth 5. The sons of Ragnar Lodbrok, once united in vengeance, became divided by destiny. Their feud split the army and changed Viking history forever. In Northumbria, Ivar captured King Aella, the man who had thrown Ragnar to the snakes. He met justice in kind, the blood eagle. The English chroniclers trembled. The ritual was too cruel to believe, yet too vivid to forget. Truth 6. The infamous blood eagle was more than torture. It was symbolic sacrifice, a message to the gods and the world. Ragnar's sons feared nothing. Eirik, watching, felt his soul tremble. This was not vengeance. This was madness. Astrid told him softly, "No man who worships vengeance ever meets the gods. He becomes their weapon." Ivar grew colder. He believed himself chosen by Odin, above fate, above fear. And yet, each victory left him emptier. Truth 7. The Vikings believed the gods tested their strength through endless struggle, but many within the army began to doubt that Odin still walked with them. As years passed, famine and disease stalked their camps. Even warriors prayed in secret to the Christian god. Ivar punished them. Fear became his law. Astrid warned him, "The gods do not test you, they warn you." He laughed. "Then let them try to stop me." But when she vanished that night, only a raven remained circling the fire. Truth 8. Prophecy and superstition guided every Viking decision. Yet those same omens destroyed their unity when the signs turned against them. Eirik, broken and torn, fled into the mist, carrying Astrid's rune. He left behind not a king, but a tyrant. Truth 9. Not all deserters were cowards. Some were the last remnants of humanity within an army swallowed by legend. Years passed. The army that once darkened the English coast had thinned to shadows. Ivar, aged and haunted, ruled from York, his throne surrounded by fear and silence. Truth 10. The Great Heathen Army's downfall was not from defeat in battle, but from the poison of its own pride. In the north, Eirik lived in exile until Astrid returned, her face pale, eyes burning. "The raven flies again," she said. "The wolf must face his fate." Ivar marched once more, not for conquest, but to prove he was still chosen. But his men followed only out of fear. Even the sky seemed to turn against him. Truth 11. No matter how feared or powerful, every leader becomes a prisoner of his own legend. On the plains of Wessex, the final war began. Rain fell, thunder rolled, gods watching in silence. Eirik stood once more on the battlefield, not as an avenger, but as a witness. He faced Ivar. "I thought you were dead," Ivar said. "I was," Eirik answered, "until I remembered mercy." Their eyes met, wolf and lamb, fury and faith. Steel clashed. Arrows screamed. The Great Heathen Army roared one last time. Eirik saw Ivar fall, pierced by a spear, gripping the earth with dying hands. His final whisper, "I have done what my father could not." Truth 12. Even gods die, but legends endure through those who remember them. Eirik buried Ivar beneath a nameless hill. Above, the northern lights danced like spirits in mourning. Truth 13. The Great Heathen Army was not divine vengeance. It was human rebellion against fate itself. Truth 14. Their legacy lived not in gold or glory, but in the fear and fascination they carved into every soul they touched. As dawn rose, Eirik whispered the final truth to the wind. Legends are not born from victory, but from those brave enough to seek the truth. Truth 15. The saga of the Great Heathen Army endures because it was never just a story of conquest. It was a mirror of every man's war with himself. Centuries later, their graves are found beneath English soil, swords beside skulls, coins from faraway lands, each whispering the same question. Were they gods, monsters, or merely men who refused to bow? Perhaps all three. For the North remembers not perfection, but defiance. And when the wind roars across the sea, when thunder breaks upon the cliffs, listen closely. You may still hear the echo of the Great Heathen Army, a storm that never truly ended. If this saga of pride, prophecy, and defiance stirred you, then carry the flame onward, like to honor the warriors of the past. Comment, were they cursed or chosen? Subscribe to uncover more truths buried beneath legend. For the gods are silent, but history still speaks.